Hi everyone. I can't believe I'm here with another reading for you guys. You guys are probably starting to get sick of me already. But we are less than a week away right now from the next full moon, January 10th, I think next Friday. I feel like I guess I just did that twin soul forecast on New Year's Eve, which is why it really seems like it's been very, very like the other day that I just did a reading. But we're already at another full moon. It is going to be in Cancer, which is a sign of definitely of emotions. Um, it's tied to obviously to the moon. It's obviously the sign is the crab. I just keep getting messages over and over about hearts being cracked open. Literally, like, and I've had that pain like in my chest, on and off through ascension, but it's really gotten bad the last like week or so. Just a lot of heart chakra pain. I've had Reiki starting, emanating from my heart chakra. Um, I just feel like this is going to be a major event for heart opening. And especially, I think it's going to hit the divine masculine energies the most, especially if they are avoiding their feelings, if they are avoiding the connection, if they are trying to run from doing their healing and inner work and those types of things. I think this energy is going to kind of force all of that to the surface. In addition, as if that wasn't powerful enough, there's also an eclipse as well. And eclipses obviously amplify the energies exponentially. So I just, wanted to put that out there, that the next week or so, you might really have a lot of emotions coming up. And it could be your own stuff. It could be the collective. It could be, you might be feeling your counterpart's energy as well. So just try to, feel these things when they come up, release them, purge them, meditate with crystals. Apache tears are wonderful for this type of stuff that comes up. Malachite, rose quartz, anything that has to do with the heart chakra. I would highly recommend that. It's going to be a week, I think, of self-care. If you need to go in hermit mode, if you need to be alone, that's okay. I'm also getting just now, pay attention to your dreams. You might have dreams about people or events from your past that you thought, you haven't thought about that in a while. It might be a sign, from your subconscious that this is something that you need to work on further healing. I would highly recommend to, write down a lot of these things and burn them when, with this full moon energy that's coming in. It'll probably hit, I usually get hit with these types of things ahead. I think probably I'm a gatekeeper is what they call them. I don't know. Like I tend to have this stuff hit me in advance, I think probably so I can warn you guys, but I think you're going to have heart palpitations. I think you're going to have heart chakra pain. Um, I think there's, like I said, emotions. You might just kind of feel apathetic too. You might just want to withdraw and just be in solitude, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you guys watched my twin soul forecast on New Year's Eve, that one ended up predominantly turning into a divine feminine energy reading. It was very much on what the divine feminines are experiencing right now with, that was focused on twin souls, but obviously if you identify with a different type of soul connection, you still obviously can be a divine feminine. If you're watching this, that's the reference to the energy that we all have within us. So because that was predominantly a divine feminine focused energy reading, not my intention, and then I did end up pulling cards for each month of the year, but I'm gonna focus right now on the divine masculines, and I'm gonna use the chakra wisdom tarot just to see what comes out for that. So we're gonna see what's going on with the divine masculine collective and how this full moon in Cancer and eclipse is going to affect the divine masculines. Those cards are really heavy. Like, I'm on fire right now. Of course, I have long sleeves on, so ugh. Oh boy, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's not surprising me. Wow, that's beautiful. Wow. Wow. Let's see what comes next. That doesn't really make sense. Oh, but sometimes the things these divine masculines do don't always make sense, do they? I know, I'm kidding. We all have masculine energy within us, so I am not bashing the masculines. But what I'm getting right now, this is actually very interesting because I think it was the new moon reading that I did. It was, if it wasn't that one, it was the one right before that where I was picking up on some of the masculines being very much in a kind of a dark place because the devil, the ego energy came out. So this, as far as kind of like the past couple of weeks where they've been, that devil energy is still hanging around. I was picking up on some of them reverting to any kind of external source for gratification. I think a lot of them maybe are drinking heavily. They may have addictions that they're battling right now. They're, workaholics. They're, kind of in this mode where they're trying anything I'm getting is like to escape their feelings, escape the energies, and they're trying, what I'm hearing with this energy coming in, they can run, but they can't hide. And, if you're on this path and you're being inundated with light codes and energy and these types of things, it's inevitable. At some point, you can't, it's my opinion, okay, you guys, and this is like probably the subject of a whole nother video. Yeah, humans have free will, and I I've seen how that's played out in my life the last year. Anytime I've tried to exercise my quote free will and deviate from this path, even for one night of fun, one night of something stupid, which I'm thankful now that I wasn't able to do, obviously. But you guys know what happened. I mean, my apartment flooded. My car wouldn't start in some instances. I face planted on concrete when I never am not, I'm not clumsy. Like your higher self and the universe, God, whatever, you want to reference the higher power, they will do, you can exercise your free will all you want, but if you're going down a path you're not supposed to be going down, shit's going to go down. If you signed up for this before you came here, I know some people who say, they've broke soul contracts and things like that. If you're a twin flame, the bond is unbreakable. I don't believe you can deviate from this mission. When you try, just examine some of the times, where things maybe aren't going the way you wanted. And if you're in resistance and you're fighting this and you're not doing the inner work, it's going to catch up with you eventually. And I'm not trying to like put fear in people or anything like that. It's just, I'm speaking from my experience of what's happened to me the last year. So where the masculines are, anyway, not to digress, what I'm getting is, still very much this devil energy. And it's stemming from their fears. It's stemming from their fears of facing their shadow self. This is, let's see, yeah, this is, I believe, this is a yellowish orange. So this, definitely deals with the solar plexus, which is their confidence. And right now, I think they want to be this confident, passionate king. They want to, come in, and I think many of them, some of them maybe aren't ready for this type of a commitment or a relationship, and maybe they're not wanting it, and that's why they're running from it. A lot of them, I think, do want it, and they're running from their feelings and their fears. They're wanting to be the King of Wands. Some of you may be dealing with a fire sign specifically, but this is really more the energy, I think, of a king and them awakening. But I think, a lot of them, they're in this self-imposed prison. We've got the Eight of Swords here as the one that came out right now. They've got, they're ones holding themselves back. They've got the blindfold on, right? And I keep getting like they're not facing their shadow self. They're turning their back on their healing. They're trying to run from it. And I'm getting kind of this urgent energy that's coming in with this, I kept getting like the heart cracking open. I just keep getting that very strongly. And I think eventually what's going to happen with this energy is the truth is going to kind of come out to where they're realizing that they are the ones that they have to, well, they have to look in the mirror, right? They have to look in the mirror, they have to take the blindfold off, and that their life is not going to improve unless and until they do this healing, they do this inner work. And I think some of them may be blaming their counterpart for this pain that's coming up. Um, I think that's why some of them, I mean, I've been kind of surprised, honestly, with some of the behavior I'm seeing from the masculine collective, be it people who, you know, have been on this journey for years with the same person, or, you know, new people, you know, even if they're awakened, or not, you know, it's just some of the, you know, there was so much progress I felt like we had. If you guys have been following my videos all along, you know, I felt like August, September, there was a lot of progress. I remember one of the videos I did remotely. I don't remember if I was in Myrtle Beach or Arizona, but the night became a king, and I was seeing a lot of evidence of that, you know, at the particular time in my journey. There was so much progress and growth. Um, and you know, the dynamic and the communication within the connection was changing and improving. And then um, you know, I was witnessing this with my friends as well, and then all of a sudden it's like they have reverted all the way back to the very beginning. I mean, we're talking like very page, you know, page like behavior. And it's been very kind of disheartening. It's kind of like, whoa, I thought, you know, and there's a purpose for all of this, right? But, you know, the energy was going one way. But I think the purpose of that, you know, as we saw in the last video, was for the divine feminines to detach and to become whole within themselves and find union within themselves, to get to the point where, you know, if that's the way they're going to be treated, they'd rather not even have that person in their life at all. And I think, you know, that's kind of where we are, is that the writing sort of on the wall is what I'm getting. I think these masculines are kind of starting to realize this truth. And we've got, you know, sort of as the current energy here, the Princess of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. It is tied shockingly to the heart chakra. It's green. I think they've sensed their feminine pick up her sword. They've sensed her, you know, kind of draw the line. They've sensed her detach, pull away, and it's kind of starting, kind of this, like, I'm getting like this rumbling, you know, within their heart. It's kind of like, whoa. Um, and they're kind of realizing now, I think, with this energy, what I'm getting, I mean, we've got some major arcana here, some big cards, you know, with the devil. It's this the feminine setting boundaries. Again, I think it's the masculine is starting to look in the mirror and maybe to stop blaming them, you know. And you know, it's like the connection is so strong that any, you know, they want to be close to her, they want to talk to her, they want, but it just stirs up all this pain, it stirs up all of this insecurities, this, you know, this devil energy. It just, it makes them, it's just, sometimes it's too painful. It brings up any kind of wound that they have, and so they just start blaming her and think, you know, I'm just gonna ghost her, I'm not gonna talk to her, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm just not even gonna do this. And they're not, you know, they're again putting the blame on her when they need to, they're, it's their own self-imposed prison and the mirroring effect going on, obviously. So what I'm getting that's coming about with this eclipse, it's very powerful, as I have been getting all along. We've got Temperance. That is a twin flame card. Um, it's the energy of Sagittarius as well, and we have King of Wands here again, so you may be dealing with a fire sign, but it doesn't have to be. But this is a card of healing. It's a card of balance. It's a card of I'm getting alchemy. I'm getting that maybe they're starting to realize that, you know, the effect that her energy has on him, you know, them, I should say, you know, as a collective. They're starting to realize that when she shifts and she grows and she does her own thing and kind of pulls away, they're starting to, I think, realize that connection and understand it a little bit. And I think it is still scares them, and they're still like, why do I have, you know, what I'm getting is like, why do I have such a, like, I can't, I'm getting, when I'm getting what they want to say, like, I can't I can't escape her. That's what I'm getting. Like I can't escape her. Like that's what I'm getting earlier. You can run, but you can't hide. And even as she pulls away, it's just like really, I'm just getting pulling on their heart. And I think what's going to come about of this from this energy, it's going to force them to face their destiny. You know, if they're on this path, like I said, you can only exercise your free will so much before, floods and cars not starting and hitting the concrete, literally face planting, it will enter you until you wake up to what you need to do and the healing you need to do and you stop running from yourself. Those things are going to happen, and I think there's going to be a lot of realizations of that the action going forward as a result of this energy coming in with this eclipse and this full moon is the star. And you guys, you can't make this shit up, right? You knew I was going to say that. It's green, heart chakra. There is a freaking heart made of, like, I don't know if they're fairies in the sky. I mean, I just said, before I pulled this spread, I was like, yeah, this is all about heart chakra opening, healing. The star is about fate. And we also have the chariot in here. That's a 7. This is 17, 717. So that's a twin flame sexual union. Temperance is a twin flame card. So I think that they're really going to have to I think they're starting to realize too, like the magic of this connection, and that whatever, I feel like that some of them have resentment towards her, somewhat, like they don't want to, but they're blaming her because it's like she stirs up all this pain. She's the one that triggers them to feel these things that they don't want to feel. And I think they're starting to understand the reason for that. And I think some of it too is they're realizing that they're destined for things that they never believed that they were worthy of. That's coming through very strongly because we've got, after this activation, I'm getting this going to be an activation or an opening, that, we've got the Ace of Cups here. That's beautiful. That's the Holy Grail. Something that, here, look, I mean, it's just within their reach. But I feel like a lot of them still feel like they're not worthy. And it's something that's, not meant for them. But I think what I'm seeing is that there is going to be, as a result of this energy coming in, I think there's going to be some fast moving, passionate communication, maybe more from the heart than you're used to hearing from them. They might open up a little bit more about their feelings if they haven't already. If they already have opened up about their feelings, they may say, things that they've never said before, or express themselves in a deeper manner. I'm getting that, they may also express that they could have a future with you. They could see themselves having a successful future with you, because we've got the Six of Wands here. And that's tied to the third eye because of the color there, the third eye and the crown. I kind of use those interchangeably because some of these colors, they look very similar, as like a purple and indigo. But yeah, I'm getting that it's going to cause them, I think, to come forward, take some sort of an action, communicate. It's going to happen really fast, and then they're going to retreat again. I hate to say that. Something told me to pull the card because we got the Chariot as the outcome. We got the Chariot as the outcome. And right after it, the Hanged Woman. Now, it's interesting to me that in this deck, it is the Hanged Woman, not the Hanged Man. So, this could be that something happens where, they come forward and they're like ready. And then it's like the feminine's not expecting it. And she's like, oh my God, I thought I was ready for this, but I'm not now. And then she's scared. But I think what I'm getting more of is that, as you guys know, like being on this journey, sometimes it's kind of like 2 steps forward, 20 steps back. So I think that this energy is going to really cause them to open their heart, cause them to make some sort of offer of love or passion, or just, maybe you're going to spend time together when you haven't in a while. But I am getting that, that I think they're going to retreat again just because it's going to be too intense. One or both parties. There's going to be maybe I'm getting some integrations of energies that need to take place. There's probably another new moon probably at the end of this month, I'm guessing, and there's probably a super moon and an eclipse. There's all this stuff going on astrologically right now. I know enough to be dangerous. I really just more read about it, and then I'm just picking up on things like, like I said, I start to just sense some of these things coming in ahead of time. But I think there's going to be something. I'm sensing something big is going to happen after this eclipse. They're going to express themselves, and then I think there is going to be a period of retreat. But I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna pull a clarifier for the hanged man, hanged woman. Let's pull a clarifier for the hanged woman. Let's know about the hanged woman. Yeah. So we got the Eight of Wands, which is another card about, swift, fast communication. And I think both parties are going to be like, whoa, like, where did this come from? This is happening so fast. And I think too, the masculines are still not quite feeling maybe stable financially or on the same level. And that's going to maybe kind of scare them. And I think they're also too, like, still kind of feeling not worthy of this Ten of Cups, not believing that it's something that's meant for them. And so it's like they mean this, they open themselves up to it, and then it's like great in that moment, and then the reality kind of hits them like, oh shit, like I'm not really ready. I thought I was ready, but unfortunately that's kind of what I'm picking up on. But I'm gonna do a actually I'm gonna do a message from the masculine. Wait, this is the wrong. I don't know if I have that deck over here. I don't. So I'm not meant to use that one. So I apologize. I know a lot of you guys like that. The messages. Let's see. But I don't have it over here because I had a lot of the decks from my zodiac sign reading. So we're going to pull a romance angel and just see what message the masculine has for the feminine. And I'm going to pull a couple other ones as well. Okay. Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. So they're wanting you to know that despite their behavior, it doesn't mean you have to put up with it, but you've got to trust and believe and have faith in this connection, that this is going to come to fruition, is what I'm getting. And that many of them are wearing a false mask, deception. If they're one that has not admitted their feelings, or they're trying to play it cool or act like this is something that they don't want, I think that's where that kind of hanged. I think maybe they're wanting to come forward, they're being urged to come forward, and maybe some of them actually won't go through with it. They come to do it, they start to do it, it's like, oh yeah, and they like blow up your phone with all these messages, and then when it comes time to like actually make plans or actually do something, then it's like boom, hangman energy again, because they're just not ready to take their mask off yet. But what I'm getting very strongly is that I'm hearing like it's not much longer. I know you guys, especially the feminines, that you've been hearing that for how many months and years. It's not much longer. But I think 2020, it came out, in that Twin Soul Union video that I did, that February, either, there were going to be a lot of unions taking place in February. Also, masculines awakening if they're not awakened. So that could be what this kind of swift, the star coming in, they're starting to really realize their fate and their destiny, and, how they want to communicate these things. And maybe they will communicate that. Maybe they will come in and say, oh my gosh, I understand now. I do want this. I understand our connection, but I'm not ready. And then they kind of retreat. So there could be some of that happening too. As they start to awaken, they come forward and then they retreat again. I'm getting some messages like about spring. This is weird because I don't normally have a lot of this stuff coming in without me pulling cards. I mean, sometimes I do, but it's just like, and I had like ringing in my ears before I started this video. like springtime. That's what, and I'm seeing like fireflies. So there's just, I'm gonna pull some more cards. Actually, I'm gonna pull the Untold Truths of the Heart Oracle by Aqua Moonlight. I'm just gonna see another message about the masculine. Yeah. Wow. You guys, you can't make this up. What did I say at the beginning of the video about the energy next week, right? This full moon is going to stir up a bunch of emotions. I think I said maybe for both, but especially the masculines. I feel like it's going to be, you know, they're going to be kind of, if they've been running from it, it's going to catch up to them. So we got emotional whirlwind, affected, dramatic, unstable. So, you know, I think that that's confirmation that this energy coming in is going to open their heart, force their hearts to open, and force them to kind of face some of the emotions that they've been hiding. We also got secret admirer, suppression, resistance, shyness. So that goes along again with the deception, the false mask. It's like the exact same type thing. They're, you know, if they haven't admitted feelings, they're, you know, keeping them secret, obviously. They're in resistance mode, they're suppressing their feelings, and they're being very shy, they're afraid to come forward. And so I think this light coming in, and this star energy, I mean, this is the driving force. It's their, you know, it's destiny, it's healing, and it's opening their heart. So that's really beautiful. Oh gosh, look what came out. We also got unconditional, innocent, support, whole heart. And I think they're starting to understand maybe some of the behaviors that the divine feminine was engaging in all along on this journey, and kind of like where it seemed kind of odd to them, like, you know, why is she like, you know, before they set the boundaries, I'm getting kind of like a lot of them were confused by it. They didn't understand sort of her obsession at times with them. They didn't understand her interest, honestly. They didn't understand her feeling like there was such a deep bond when they weren't feeling it themselves, is what I'm getting. And now they're starting to understand as they awaken, as their heart opens, as they go through these activations, and they're starting to understand the depth of the connection and their mission and what this is. I'm getting that they're like, okay, oh my God, you know, all this time she was loving me unconditionally. She was trying to get me to see. She was trying to, you know, she had trust, she had faith in me, and I didn't understand what was happening. I just thought she was weird or whatever. That's what I'm getting. And I'm getting that there's going to be, I think they're going to feel guilty about that when they start having these realizations. And that also could be why then they maybe can't express that. Like they know they need to apologize, and it's very hard for them to come up with the words to say, is what I'm getting. So right now, I am going to pull a spread for the connection. It's getting really dark all of a sudden, like the sun just went, I don't know what happened, but so I'm going to use the Twin Flame Journey Tarot. So we'll take a look at the connection energy that's going to transpire after the masculine, and you know, everybody really undergoes this heart chakra opening. What effect is this full moon going to have on the connection? Wow. Oh my God. Okay. This is exactly what, wow. I don't even know what to say, you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So you guys remember with the masculine, this is just unbelievable. Okay. The energy that we got for the masculine was Eight of Swords initially, and the King of Wands was blocking this because, like, I was getting, you know, they're not looking at themselves in the mirror. They're not, you know, realizing that they have the power to become this king, right? what I asked was, how was this going to impact the connection? And I had said, just, when I was going through the spread for the masculine, that it was really going to, I think they were really going to kind of start stepping into their power a little bit, understanding the connection, and realizing that they couldn't run from it anymore, right? What we've got here for the past energy was the Eight of Swords, which was the current energy in the masculine. So I think it's like this is confirmation that this full moon is going to help them get past this this self imprisonment to move the connection forward. And I think likewise, the feminines are going to continue to set boundaries, not accept, behavior, childish behavior, and not feel like they're trapped anymore. I think, a lot of the feminines are kind of like, you know what? It's very empowering when, despite the bond you have with someone, you start to realize that as you ascend and as you work on yourself, you can attract other 5D connections, and you don't feel this trap to be bound to this other person anymore. How much you care for them, or want to be, you may, at one point wanted to be with them. You realize, when you don't need them anymore, it's extremely empowering and you can break free. And I think so that's kind of a mirroring. It's like as you break free, they break free. And what we get, as the current energy, King of Wands, visionary leader. So it's no longer in the blocking mechanism. So I think this is confirmation again. You guys can't make this up. I mean, because the King of Wands was here. Both of these cards, were in the beginning and kind of like blocking each other. This Eight of Swords is in the past. This moves down into the current energy. The masculines are starting to get confidence, at least in themselves, and realize the soul contract. Start to realize the nature of this bond and why it's happening. We've got justice. We've got justice, soul contract, balance. They're starting to understand this. And that's going to lead, again, to Knight of Wands energy, passionate adventure. They're going to be like, oh, real quick, we saw that swooping in with the Chariot and the Page of Wands, that type of energy coming through. And so, again, this is confirmation. I think there is going to be some sort of communication, some sort of an offer, but it's Knight energy, right? They're going to come in. Steady progress is sort of blocking this. It's like there's some steady progress here, but I think they're still going to have their defenses up a little bit. Not quite believing that this can be successful, but there is a new beginning coming. There is a new beginning coming, and it's funny how I kept saying it was like an activation, like a heart chakra activation. This card says activation in this deck. But I think once this happens, some truths may come out. As I said, they may talk about their feelings more. They may just, speak their truth. They may become a little more confident in their feelings because we have the Queen of Swords here. This also could be possibly the feminine, sensing that they're still in kind of Knight Page energy, and kind of putting up her sword and her defenses, kind of like, oh, like you're not coming forward as a king. I'm not really interested in this. So there could be some of that going on too. Acknowledgement of the progress, but kind of like, they're still not ready. Send them back. And it's funny because there's a divine masculine who has a huge following on YouTube. I think it's King Tride's tribe or something, like it's but he's hilarious because he's a divine masculine. Obviously he's been through this stuff before he awakened, and talks about it, and he's so funny. Like he says, what does he say? He's like, if they're coming to you in that Joker energy, you need to send them back to the circus where they belong until they're a king. You don't want them unless they're a king. And I think there could be some of that going on. I think the feminines, as I said in my New Year's Eve video, I did warn, you need to have boundaries but not walls. So I think it's important that we, as the feminines, keep our hearts open, not tolerate, unacceptable behavior, but detach from it, set boundaries with love. Understand that they're going through this awakening. Understand, it doesn't mean that they can treat us, in an abysmal way, and things like that. So I think there's got to be some balancing there going on. But I think there is something, a new beginning coming in this connection. Something's going to shift. There's going to be some sort of a communication. Maybe you spend time together, but then I do see with this defense energy, with the swords energy, the outcome is hermit. Okay, so I know we don't like to see that, but it's not very surprising given that, we had the chariot and then we had the hanged woman. And now we've got hermit. Soul searching, that is solitude is a 9, right? So I think whatever comes of this in the connection, it's going to, both partners, I think, are going to have some more healing to do from that. I know that's not what we like to hear, but I think too that the masculines really are going to be doing a lot of soul searching, especially as they're awakening and realizing the soul contract that they can run, but they can't hide from this, that there's this new beginning and that there is a path forward. And I think, we didn't have, if you notice, we didn't have the devil show up in this connection. We didn't have any, really bad cards. I think it's actually a lot of progress. I know it doesn't seem like that when it's like, well, they're going to come forward and then they're going to retreat again. But I think to alchemize and to process and integrate's the word I was trying to think of, integrate the energies. There needs to be some time in solitude to do that. So I feel like something is going to happen pretty, fast after this, but then there's going to be a time period after that, probably till February, is what I'm getting. But it seems pretty clear to me that the masculines are definitely going to start realizing all of this. They are going to start stepping into the king energy a little bit. They're going to get some more confidence, enough confidence to come forward. In that moment, they're going to be like, I'm a king and I can do this. And then they end up coming forward as a knight and, running off back away. And some of it too could be, if the feminines I don't want to blame the masculines for all this stuff. If the feminines have their guard up and their heart's not open, the masculine's going to sense that too. And that's out of balance. So I know it's easier said than done, but it's important to keep your heart open. And it's hard to not have expectations, but it's also hard to because you want to say positive affirmations, but then not have an expectation on it. But you don't want to just say, oh yeah, they're probably just going to run away again, so I'm just going to put my guard up. It's very hard to find that balance. And I guess just all I can say is focus on the progress, focus on that moment, focus on the lessons. But at the same time, again, don't accept bad behavior just to spend time, for the sake of spending time with someone. They need to, when they do come forward, I would say that there needs to be some evidence of progress in the fact of, as far as them opening up about feelings, about why an apology or why they've behaved the way they have, or just spending time with you maybe where they hadn't before. They've got to be willing to I'm getting up their game a little bit, even if they're not ready for, a full-on relationship. There needs to be some evidence of progress. And once you see that, I think, both sides see that, then they're going to understand, okay, your soul just knows what to do. Your soul knows what needs to come next. And this is actually very beautiful because we got Temperance again, which I know is a card that, oh my God. Okay. So we got Temperance again, which is restoration. It's the major arcana. It's about, it's a twin flame connection, but it's about healing, that there may be some more healing that needs to be done. But look at what comes after that, you guys. We've got the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups came out in the masculine spread as well. So there's a lot of, I think it's important to note, the masculine energy and then the connection energy has a lot of the same cards that are coming out. So I think that's a further reminder that even the divine feminines, you need to take a look in the mirror too. When you're being triggered, what is it that you maybe need to be working on? You may have your own running type situation where you're just throwing yourself into too many things and not meditating enough. not taking time for you, or maybe you're going out all the time. Maybe you have your own substance abuse issues that you need to address. It's not just one-sided. So I don't want anybody to think that with this reading that I was trying to attack the masculines. It's not the case at all. And I think the biggest thing with feminines too is, if he's not expressing his love for you and his mask hasn't come off, is your heart fully open to him? And that's a very, very challenging task, to have an open heart, but have boundaries. And so that's something, again, I think that it's a very fine line, and it's something I think that we know we need to do. And just the more you can detach emotionally from an outcome with one person, I think the easier that becomes. And the more that, the less that you need somebody's time, you need somebody's affection, and you just, learn to be truly happy with yourself. That really does help. So, let's see how much time we have. I want to end on that. I want to pull Ascended Masters card. I'm going to see what comes out. It's just a message from the Ascended Masters for soul connections right now. What message do they have? Yes. Well, that's funny. Yeah, yes. So I think that's kind of, confirmation for you that, yes, we are on the right path. We're doing the right things. And and I think they want to acknowledge that they know this is not easy. This has not been an easy journey at all. And I think they're very proud of us for all the work that we've put in doing this. I think one more thing, though, that we're going to have to, purification. This is another reminder about purifying our bodies and drinking more water. And then we got another trust, you guys. I mean, I think they want to just give us the whole deck here. Meditate. So it's about connecting more to the divine, purifying our bodies, because when these light codes come in, I mean, the energies are just going to keep amping up, and it's going to be harder for our bodies to assimilate this intense energy if we're not hydrated, if we're not sleeping well, and if we're not eating. I've been urged. I'm just craving more vegetables, salads, less meat. I'm, at least one meal, sometimes 2 meals a day. I'm eating vegan, just because I feel better and it just sounds better. Alcohol is going to make it harder. It's going to make you feel really tired, and really just the ascension symptoms are a lot worse if if you don't have a clear channel to process all of this stuff that's happening. So again, I think I just showed this, but trust. We got trust again. Trust that all of this stuff is resonating. If you're on this path and you're doing these things, you are going to eventually be in union with in a 5D conscious relationship. It may not be with the person you started out this journey on. It could be someone new coming in, and somebody you've not even met yet. But you just have to trust and know that you're being prepared for something sacred. It's an initiation. It's amazing what this opportunity is. Most people don't have this type of love and won't know it, and we're gonna be changing the paradigm, shifting the paradigm on Earth and helping anchor unconditional love to bring forth a new reality. So it's definitely an initiation process to get to where we need to be. So just be patient. I know we don't like to hear that. It's probably my least favorite word. Be patient, trust, have faith, and know that the beautiful things are coming. It really it is. You've just got to have faith. So I will be here with you guys every step of the way, and I wish you the best.